Here's the 50, still sitting here, unfinished. I don't even know if I remember how to put it back together. This powder coat guy really disappointed me. He's had the stuff forever. I think he's putting other people before me. I'm at the point where I think I'm just gonna go get the shit, take it all back home and just spray paint it. I don't like spray painting stuff because every time I spray paint something, the paint either falls off or it just looks like crap. I'm working on this one. I've got the engine in, so this thing's in process. It's coming along good. Can't really do a video on this today. Can't really do a video on my 50 today. I've done nothing new to the Gen 4. Can't really do a video on that, and I want to do a video, so I think I'm going to do a bike check on my 150. Bike check time. Gen 5, matte black, Maddog 150. I'm way into mountain biking, and I like watching these mountain bike videos called bike checks. They go to Whistler or somewhere, and they just find random people, interview them, and say, tell us about your bike.
Tell us about your bike.
I think I'm going to do a bike check for this 150 here. I think I'm pretty well done with this bike. Stock front wheel, city grip tire. These little doodads here, don't know what they're supposed to be. Make it look like a race bike so you can put it on a race stand. NCY front brake. That thing sucks. It's probably a good brake, but I don't have it matched right with the caliper. I just put that on there to do some problem solving when doing these forks. 200mm rotor, and that was a 70mm spacing, so I had to do some grinding. Got the little adapter there, which makes this NCY brake fit a rough house fork. See a lot of these bolts rusted, like here and down here. I'm slowly going through and trying to paint them all black. Those are the black bolts you get at Home Depot. They look really cool. They're nice and black. They match the bike. Then it doesn't take them long to rust. See the original fork tops rusted. A lot of this stuff I see where the rust happens, and that's the kind of stuff I want to have powder coated on the other bike. And that's NCY Rough House forks. That was a pain in the ass. I kept the front fender, but I lowered it down and detached it from up here, so the front fender just stays over the front wheel and hugs it, and you don't have big space between the front tire and the fender. Got these big ass headlights. They were super expensive. Cast cycles. I think I got this on AliExpress, maybe eBay, but they're not that bright. They don't light the road up that good. But I like these headlights. They're super high quality. All metal. Things really strong. I didn't pay that price for them. I think they were cheaper on AliExpress when I got them. The stuff on AliExpress, if it gains in popularity, the price will go up on it. So sometimes I'll get stuff for real cheap. Like I got that PWK for that Gen 4 for $13. It wasn't but a week later they were charging $20-something for it. The prices do change on AliExpress quite a bit depending on the demand. I didn't do the DC mod as they call it on here. It's a free thing you can do. I've got a video on it. Your AC wiring, cap it off, run DC into that wiring. You turn your key on, your LED 12 volt DC headlights come on, and they work through this switch here. Got the Gen 4 done like that, but I didn't do this bike like that because I have to have the key on to have the stereo on and the ground lights. And if I want to park and just have the stereo on and the ground lights, I don't want the lights on killing my battery. So I went with a separate switch for my lights. They go on and off. High beam and low beam. I keep this maintainer to charge the battery. Battery topped off and I'm not riding it. Little motorcycle batteries. They're XB9s, whatever they're called. They don't last that long. About 2 years is all I've been able to get out of them. Same thing as in my lawnmower, my riding mower. It just hangs there. Top it off every once in a while. I don't leave it plugged in all the time. In hindsight, I should have put that fuel pump on a separate switch because that does stay running when the bike is on. My fuel gauge still works good, which is weird. I know these things are problematic. Speedometer's not hooked up, so no mileage on there, no miles per hour. Looks like 0.3. I put this on right away. A GPS speedo and housing. So this is just a tachometer now. It doesn't even record mileage, but this records mileage. About 1,200 miles on this bike. Got these cool mirrors, AliExpress. They look like those, you know, racing fins that the guys use at Race MotoGP. And that's the better ignition cover. That's billet aluminum. That thing's really nice. You don't get the locking feature or any of that, but it looks so clean. NCY throttle and grips, really fat grips. It's supposed to be red, but I painted it black. Cool remote reservoir brake, master cylinder. Huge pain in the ass to put on. Got the matching clutch side. It works as a brake too for a mechanical brake or a clutch. Got those on AliExpress. The wiring is already in there for the brake switches, so you have to make it all fit your brake switch wires. Have a button down here to turn the ground effect lights and music. Got the master switch for the nitrous. Got the Road Thunder MTX. With the key on, you always hear the pulsing unit going. The stereo only works when you turn the key on, and then this button's hot, so you can turn the stereo on like that, and it's Bluetooth to my phone. I have to play something that won't get my video kicked off the internet, so this is some music my kid made. You can see the purple LED lights come on at the same time. Not much to see in the daytime, but it looks pretty cool at nighttime. Yeah, the stereo doesn't have a lot of bass, so it's not very loud. When you're going down the highway, you can hear the music, it just doesn't have any thump to it. I think in hindsight I'd go with that JBL tube. It looks about the same size. They make mounts for that too. You can put on roll bars for Jeeps. Cheaper. These things are expensive. There's some bass kicking in now, you can tell. Turn the volume up on it. It's pretty loud. On a good system, that's a lot of bass right there. But you don't really get that bass on this thing. I was thinking about adding a little teeny subwoofer. You can't find a little teeny subwoofer anywhere. They just don't make them. But it'd have to be tiny. It'd have to fit somewhere into this seat. I don't know. Taking this cowling off is a real pain. Put the rubber band things on here, like the Fast and Furious cars have on them. And they work pretty good. 3 on each side. I found them on eBay. They're JDM brand. It's a Gen 5, but I put this roll cage thing on it. That kind of gave it an old school vibe. I really like these foot pegs because you can adjust them this way also. So there's a bolt going in the back here, and you can twist them. The problem with the foot pegs is they all stick up like this, and your feet are like that, so they don't really match your feet angle. So I like the ones that you can adjust by twisting them. I take all the springs out and crap like that, and I just bolt them in there hard. I wanted a black gas cap. I thought this was the exact same thing, but it's not. This is a radiator cap. This radiator cap is actually bigger around right here, and it won't fit in the gas cap hole. They don't make a black gas cap at 6-speed, so I got this, rainbow thing. Got this goofy looking Transformers kickstand, kind of match the style of the bike, but mainly because it's adjustable. So you can put it at whatever height you want. At the same time I put this on, I ground this down. So when the kickstand's up, it sets nice and level. This kickstand had one of these, switchblade things or something sticking out of it. I'm not sure what the purpose of it was, so I took it off. Using the big Whippet bottle for nitrous. It's all hidden pretty well and tucked away. Rollin' wrench fuel pump, the Rollin' wrench intake, and their 28mm PWK carburetor, and then the unifilter. Have this cheeky seat cover that I really like. If it rains on this thing, it stays wet and your ass gets wet, but we're not out in the weather too much. I put this cooler looking Kickstarter on it. It said it was for a GY6, but it's meant to be mounted that way, so I had to mount it upside down. You can see it says ride till die. I don't think the Chinese quite figured that saying out, and that meant I have to take this and flip it around and grind it, but it saved the bike. My buddy knocked my bike over and it just did that. Inside here I've got the 115 variator, 842 belt, 14 gram stock roller weights, everything stock in the clutch, stock contra spring, stock clutch springs, 14% gear up in the back. NCY shock, 265. Stock tail light, and got this different brake light, holds a license plate, got that on eBay. Have the R1 fender, and I put a splash guard on it up here because when you get these filters wet, these things don't run. I had to bend the arm that it comes with quite a bit to get it to sit nice and level like that. Stock back wheel, stock tire. Put the 6-speed lug nut. Didn't go with the spikes. I went with the 3-piece ones, but these are just the caps. Or oil dipstick. If you get one of these, you have to take your stock O-ring off and put on here. It's a lot bigger. Otherwise, this dipstick will rattle out and fall off on the highway. Stock exhaust pipe. A Toyota 171 cylinder and piston. Toyota head, and Toyota T100 cam. That's about it.